Say you want to move into the foldable world. You've got the Samsungs out there. You also have the Motorola now out there, but they don't sync very well with your Macs. That's a problem. If you want to transfer your photos, everything, iPhone, you just transfer direct with AirDrop. That makes it really nice. But there are actually ways to do that with Android devices. To make it easier, we're going to cover those in this video. Let's go. So as I said, the opener, if you have an iPhone, you just use AirDrop and that'll sync with all your devices. Yeah, that is really simple, but not all manufacturers have that ecosystem, such as Motorola. Let's say you want to connect your Motorola to your phone, or you just want to get your photos off of it. You can't AirDrop. Yeah, there's third-party apps and stuff out there that you can try, and they always break because Apple breaks them after some time because they're not getting paid for it. At least that's my take on it. So unless it comes through the Apple Store or the App Store, Apple's going to break it. And then you got to wait for that manufacturer to come up with an update to fix it. Well, this is going to avoid all that. So let's just start with photos. So the first thing you want to do is you got your phone right here. I'm going to actually connect it with a USB to USB-C. And I'm going to use this Neo here for the demonstration. And as you can see here, I'm just going to take this and I'm going to plug it into my Neo. Now, your Neo has 2 ports. You want to plug it into the fastest port, which is on the back. And as you can see right here, it popped up a message that says file transfer, photo and video transfer. Now that's the one we want to do. And then you have to touch ID to do that. Okay. So now here on the Mac Mini, it's pretty simply hit Command and Spacebar at the same time. Of course, you get the spotlight, or you can select up here with the spotlight. Then all you do is you type in image, and image capture pops up for me. So you might have to type out image capture the first time, but once it pops up, there you go. You select on it, and it's going to open up, and it's going to find the phone because we did all the preliminary stuff to get it set up. And now it's going to go ahead and pull in all the different files. And of course, you can enlarge this any size you want to. Now, something to know is while I was pulling this up, you can import it too. And see right down here, I guess I shouldn't have pushed that all the way down here. You can see here where it says imported to is where the photo is going to go. And I take mine and I send them to downloads. And the reason why I send them to downloads is, as you can imagine, I do hundreds, if not thousands of photos, and I got to manage them. And I don't want to put them in my personal photos, so I just put them in downloads for the moment until I sort through them, and then I shuffle them around to the project that I'm actually working on. So as you can see here, you got some photos here, and for example, you could take one here and you could just select by holding shift down, and it'll select them all, and you can just tell them to download, and it'll download them. And then we'll go ahead and put this here on the side, and we'll split the screen. And here you go, I split the screen, so you got the folder right there, and all the files are right there. And we'll just go ahead and take these two right here, and you can actually take and just drag photos over as well if you have a file open. See there, just drag it over, and the other one's up there somewhere, as you can see. So there's the file, and it just drags over. Okay, it looks like I was taking a picture of a squirrel. Now, both picture files and video files will transfer that way. So you can either download and select them all, or you can drag them over. Now, what I just show you is actually just one-way capturing. It only goes one way from your phone to your Mac. If you want to go back, you have to do something else. Most people won't do that. Most people just want to save it to their Mac or save it to a hard drive somewhere, and that's the way to do it. So we're going on to the next step. If you don't want to do any more than that, go ahead and stop the video now. Otherwise, let's go on and look at how do you transfer back and forth with data as well as photos. Now, if you want to move files back to your phone, you can always email it to yourself, and in some cases use messages and send it to your Android phone, but then you don't get the full thing, and that could be clumpy if you have a lot of things you want to transfer. So what I do is I use this thing called MacDroid. So MacDroid you can actually get through the Apple Store, and it's free if you're going to do the one-way transfer from the phone to your Mac, which why even use the app, because you can do that on image capture, but it will also transfer, I guess, files and such. Then you just open it up, and here you connect the phone, and it's already showing that it's mounted. So as you can see here, I've already mounted my Motorola Razr Fold, Samsung Z Fold, 7 as well as the Oppo Find N6. And then when I plug them in, as you can see here, it says it's mounted. Because it's already mounted, all I got to do now is open up Finder, and I'll close this down or shrink it down. And you can see here's Finder. And let's go open up full screen. And you can see right here, it's got MacDroid, MacDroid, MacDroid. There's my Motorola. I click on it, and there's my Motorola. I can actually go into the photos, cameras, and it will load them all. It takes a little bit because I got a lot of photos on there. I need to slim it up. And here you go. They just populated here. And as you can see, they got the little download cloud on them. So you can't actually see them until you download it. But if you click on the download, it'll download it, and then you could see it. Now, the way this works simply is from any other folder. You can just select them here, and you can drag these over to, I'm going to drag them over to downloads. And then you've got all these going over the downloads. Now, once you've installed them on your computer, for some reason they reach in and they look at the thumbnail, and they will be seen here. I'm going to skip all of them. So I already had those photos on there. So let's go here to the next row. Let's go ahead and drag these over to the download file. Now those will drag over, and as they drag over, they will populate a thumbnail for them, and then you can see them. So go over here to the downloads folder, and you can see they're adding right to it right here. You see they're all coming in. So that's simply how you transfer them over. Now, so let's go back over here to the phone here, and we'll delete these. And these are all that in store Best Buy, if you saw that video here. And we'll go ahead and remove those. I'll move those to trash. So those are gone. So those are no longer there. But they should still be in my downloads, as you can see. Kind of unlike what you get with iCloud. If you delete it one place, it deletes it everywhere. So I'm going to select these here, and I am going to put them back. So now I'm going to take these here, and I am going to copy them, then go back to the drive here. And for some reason, you got to keep going back, unless you open up two windows side by side, which would probably be the smarter thing to do. Okay, so now I can take and just paste the 18 items right here and check that out. They're right back, and I'll just tell it to replace what's duplicated. So they're right back there. So you can see here, it's not just the camera folder. You can go back here, and you can go into something like the SD card is what I do, because that's where all your documents are, your downloads. So you can open this up. See, I've got documents there that I can download or move here, and then the download file. So you can actually transfer or actually move anything you want back to the phone. And this is Android using this MacDroid. To do this, you have to get the paid version. Now you can do a subscription where you do a monthly, a yearly. I just went all in and bought a lifetime. So you want to check that out. I believe it was like 35 bucks for lifetime or $19 for a year. It just didn't make any sense to do that. So, and MacDroid has been around for years, believe it or not, and they've been updating with every iteration of Mac OS, because it's in the App Store, and Apple wants to make their share. So I think it's a really good program, and it works great. And depending on what phones you put on here, it just keeps adding. So let's go ahead and add one phone that I have not used or connected with it yet, and you can see what happens from start to finish. So I've got my Honor Magic B5 here, and we'll go ahead and plug it in here and see what happens. I'm going to plug it in. So right there, it's asking me to allow the Honor. So I'm going to allow it. Honor likes to add their own Honor suite here. And let's see if it automatically added as MacDroid. It did not. So that's probably because I got to go in here and I got to add permissions. So you got to scroll down to where it says charging via USB, and you click on that, transfer files, and auto. Okay, and then you approve. And then there it is. It appears here on the computer, and you can do the same thing. Go into the camera, and it's going to take a while to download. So just look up the app on the App Store. It's called MacDroid. And once you download it, you just follow the steps. It's pretty simple. And then just do like I showed you with that Honor Magic V5. It just sets up real easy. And as you can see here, it's connect via MTP is the way you do it. It also has Wi-Fi connection, if that's something you want to do. But again, that's some different setup, a little bit further involved, and we'll cover that maybe in another video. I want to thank you for watching this video. I hope you got something out of it. If you did, make sure to smash that like button down below. It really does help out the channel. And if you haven't already subscribed, it's free. It costs you nothing. Okay, and it really does help out the channel. If you have any questions on what we just covered today, please leave those down in the comments. Or if you have any experience that you want to share, leave that as well. Love to hear from you. And I respond to all comments. Check out some of my new content here. Until next time, have a wonderful day and God bless.